Well, Anthony Ogogo, welcome to Sportsvibe TV, and a big hearty congratulations for being an Olympic medalist. Not just an Olympic medalist, but a London Olympic medalist. Now, I know you're a little bit disappointed because you were going for gold, but a few days have passed. You've no doubt been congratulated by everybody. I bet you're feeling a bit different now.
Yeah, I have to be honest with you. Today's gone a lot to kind of, to do that for me. Yesterday as well, I managed to get home and I left my house yesterday and just went out for a little walk, and I saw his husband and wife, a couple walk past, walking their dog, and then that was like they'd seen the Queen. That was like they got so excited just to see me, and I haven't got your medal, so I had to run back in and get my medal and show it to them, and they were so happy to see me, and they were so proud that I'd come from the same town as them, and that did a lot to kind of just two normal people walking down the street were really happy, so that done a lot, and coming down here and talking to people about it, and I'm looking at it different now, and it's not just a bronze medal. It kind of signifies the whole journey I had to get into the Olympic Games, which was quite traumatic at times, and then getting there, then having a hard draw and still managing to kind of come away with something when top fighters came away with nothing and top athletes came away from the Olympic Games with nothing. So no, the disappointment is starting to fade. It's still there a bit because obviously I went for that gold medal and I'd be a less of a competitor, I think, if I was happy with a bronze medal, but. I'm more proud now than I was, 3 or 4 or 5 days ago. For
all the success, you're right. There were people who went to London and have come away with nothing, and that will really grate away, even haunt them. At least you have a medal. You beat the world #1 along the way. You had that horrific moment where you drew 18 all, didn't you?
Yeah.
In the last 16 and just edged it. I mean, it could have been a lot worse. And whatever you achieve in your life, nobody's ever going to take away from you your Olympic medal.
That's it, yeah, that's it. That was like I said, I got there, I thought, I've had such a tough run at things. I'm going to get a good draw. It's going to be tough because it's the Olympic Games, but it's going to be favourable. It didn't happen. I got there and as normal, I had a tough draw. I had an extra fight than like most of the other GB lads who were ranked, who got a bye. But yeah, I went there and I thought, even when the draw was done, I thought I'm gonna win these games.
If you're going to win a gold, you've got to beat the best, haven't you?
Of course you have. And I just thought I'm going to win it. And everyone I got a draw, I'm going to win. And I got there or thereabouts, didn't get the whole way. But no, even in my final fight, my body was so tired, my mind was tired. I wasn't nowhere near as sharp as I was when I boxed the Ukrainian, but I gave it my all. So, like I said, no one can take my medal away from me, and nobody can question my desire to win, because when I was so tired, my body was screaming stop, and my heart was just going, and I was still punching. So I tried my best, and that's all anybody can do.
I also think if you place some perspective into this time last year, your arm was pretty much hanging off your shoulder. I mean, you could have punched away through the proverbial wet paper bag, let alone one Olympic medal.
Exactly.
So that was really hard work. And then obviously, you've had your well-chronicled traumas with your mum, who I gather is well on the way to recovery, which is great news. And, that's not an easy passage to the Olympics.
Yeah, no, it's been very tough. Firstly, the injury. Boxers, that people don't get injured anyway. When it's a shoulder and all your punch goes through your arm and into your shoulder, that's never good when you get shoulder problems. And that was really hard. I can't explain how painful it was as well, and not just the pain. When I threw a punch before I got it done, how much my arm was going to come off. It didn't feel attached to my body, and so to have the operation and rehab that, which was the most painful experience of my life, was just horrible. I was cutting corners, by which I mean, normally time scales when you have to take this long before you can start doing this movement. I was condensing that right down because I had no choice. I had to rehab it quick. And when I qualified, my arm was so painful. I was nowhere near fit to box. If I didn't have to box, if I was a professional and had time to wait and get a new date, I would have done that. I was nowhere near ready to fight. But the Olympics waited for no man, and said it wasn't going to wait for me, so I had to make sure my body was good to go, and I managed to qualify.
I mean, most people in life at some point have a personal trauma they have to deal with, but usually not weeks before the biggest career moment of your life.
Yeah, definitely. And I pulled out. In my head, I pulled out. I couldn't understand. I couldn't see how boxing was. I couldn't train. I couldn't be away from my family. I couldn't be away from my mum's bedside. I didn't want to be away either. I pulled out really. I didn't tell anybody I'd pull out. I didn't make a decision, I'm pulling out. There was no decision to make. It was obvious what I was going to do, and that was like not compete, because I couldn't focus on that.
No.
And it took a good couple of weeks and a good kick up my backside from my sisters to say, look, Mum's going to get better, and when she's better and she's herself again, she's going to feel so bad that you didn't go boxing Olympic Games.
What would she have wanted?
Exactly, she wanted me to come home and bring a medal back, which I did. So, so that was the only thing kind of got me through. Really, when I was away in Sheffield, we had a training camp in France, and that was horrible. Not even in Sheffield, I could jump in my car, I'd be home, I'd be at the hospital in like 2-3 hours. When I was in France, I couldn't get back for anything. And I was stuck like on foreign soil, and that was horrible. That took a metal of I really I grew up a lot. I matured a lot in a few weeks, and that kind of took a lot of metal to go there and to try to focus on sparring and trying to beat people up who I might have to fight in the Olympic Games when like mad stuff's going on at home. But
and were you able to focus? Were you able to sort of shut it out of your mind?
Well, I had to, not really, but I had to try my best. Like when I boxed in the Olympic Games, the first thing I'd do, I'd come back and I'd bring my sister, and the first thing they'd want to kind of congratulate me and say well done. And then all I wanted to do is see how my mum was getting on. Really, that was hard. It was a really hard time. But now it's over now, and I'm giving myself, which I think I deserve. I'm giving myself like an extended break. I'm not going to say how long, but I'm not going to be going back to Sheffield training with the GB squad anytime soon. I'm sure they understand, and I want to kind of be at home and just be a good family member really, because they've supported me through this time so much. I want to kind of do the same back to them.
And your sister's had a baby as well, so you're now an uncle.
Yeah, an uncle again.
It's all happening.
It's all kicking off. It's all kicking off in the Ogogo household. But a beautiful little boy called Sonny, who's healthy and he's handsome. Some say he looks like his uncle, but I don't know.
You couldn't possibly comment.
I couldn't comment myself.
Now, what about the Team GB boxers? Because over the years, it's been a little bit hit and miss. There's been a few, obviously, names and medals, but not that many. But this time, it was a crack regiment of boxers that came to London, and quite a few, if not most, delivered, didn't they? Yeah,
definitely. We could before going in, like the men, women, all the women were seeded. They all could have won. I like Natasha Jones was unlucky that she boxed Katie Taylor, because she's like a standout women boxer and has been for a long time. Savannah Marshall was a world champion. She should have won. She should be disappointed in herself because she didn't perform and turn up for whatever reason. She's young and maybe it got to her with the pressure of being world champion. She could have won. We could have got 3 medals with the girls easily if Natasha would have missed her for one more fight. And the men, like everybody was seeded apart from me and Josh Taylor. You'd expect Selby, who's the world #1. You'd expect Stalker, world #1, to go and win the whole thing, if not medals. And then Josh Taylor was always going to have it tough, and I had it tough because we weren't seeded. But obviously I went on to medal. Those two should have medal. It was never going to happen. We could have had 10 medals.
And do you think, there's a lot of interest in Anthony particularly, maybe because he's just a big heavyweight. Everybody always hones in on the big heavyweights. But a lot of people have been saying, before he won Olympic gold, this boy has the potential to go a long, long way. Do you share that view?
Yeah, definitely. He's a pal of mine. He's big, he's strong, he's athletic, which in the heavyweight game nowadays, you don't get a lot of them. When the good heavyweights now are big, strong, athletic. The Klitschko's, David Haye, he's big enough. He's not that big, but he's strong enough, athletic, and he's got all of it. So, he can. I hope he does go all the way, because he's a nice guy. I like him. We spent a lot of time together the last year and a half, and I think not just for him, but for British boxing in general, I think we've got a few fighters. A lot of fighters can go a long, long way and bring some big nights back to British sport.
And the question that everybody will be asking you and will continue to ask you is, at the moment you're just going to take some time off and be at home and do the right thing. Even the first signs of future plans yet for you?
Not at all. For the reasons I've said earlier, I need more than anything, just need to break, just to rest.
Make the right decision in the right time. Yep.
Exactly. I need a clear mind, a clear soul, and it's a big decision. If I decide to turn pro, it's something I can't come back from. So, and if I decide to stay amateur, it's 4 years of my life. So it's just big decisions here. All I know is whatever I do, whether it's stay amateur, I'm gonna upgrade this. I want to upgrade this bronze to a gold medal. If I want to turn pro, then I want to win a world title. So whatever I want to do, I want to be the best in the world at, and that's the plan. What it is, yeah, honestly, hand on my heart, I don't know what I want to do yet, and I'm not gonna know until I've had a nice break, and then hopefully it'll be apparent to me.